This week, I'm going to take you through a twisting flow for the shoulders and the spine. So this could be a practice that you do maybe in the evening or at the end of your working day, just to get that shoulder and spine area moving after a day at work. Let's get started. And we're going to do this week's practice again without props. But if you know that you like to use blocks in your practice, you could have a block there maybe for that long child's pose that we're going to have in the beginning. You could have a block under the pelvis or a pillow or something to support your ankles. But I'll lead you through this practice without any props. When you are ready, bring yourself into child's pose. That's going to be this week, again, our starting pose. And make sure you have a bit of space in front of you. So you could start maybe closer to the back of the mat, so you have some space to move forward when we then continue from this child's pose. And you could let your legs open wider apart in child's pose if you want, or bring the legs closer together. Where do you feel you could comfortably stay a bit as we start the practice? And like I said, if your child's pose requires a block or maybe a pillow under the pelvis, feel free to use those props. And we'll first just take a few breaths here, settling into the practice, arriving onto the mat. Let your shoulders soften. Let your neck soften. Allow your chest space to soften, so that there's space for each breath to move in. And with the exhalations, see if you could release just a bit of tension in your whole body, especially around the shoulders, along the spine. You could even exhale through the mouth. Maybe let out a sigh. And then we're going to slowly move into our twists. Now, if you know that you have shoulder injuries, or if you are recovering from one, just be very mindful, be gentle with these twists. To go into our first one, we're still going to stay in child's pose and slowly inhale, open the chest away from the mat. And then we're going to slide left arm under the right arm. So it's a bit like thread the needle, but in child's pose. And see if you could lean your head back down. Now this is where you might use a block or pillow under the head, if you feel that the head is uncomfortably hanging off the mat. You can either let your right arm relax, or you could gently press down through the right hand to create a bit more of a twist. Be mindful with your lower back. So in this pose, the shape of the lower body is stopping your spine from twisting very far. So it's more an opening across the chest, twist for the upper spine. Breathe in and out. So you are opening chest out to the right. And then slowly, with your next couple of breaths, press down through the right hand and now elevate yourself slightly off the mat. So you could slide your left arm now to the opposite side of the mat, so to the left side of the mat. And what I'm doing, I'm keeping the left arm extended and walking that left hand quite far out to the side. And then I'm going to continue to press down through the right hand to now create a gentle opening on the inside of that left arm, maybe around the pecs in the chest area as well. But just to open the inner arm a bit. if you want, you might tilt the wrist so that you turn the fingers in that left hand up towards the ceiling. But if that feels too intense, just keep the palm down. And then exhale, release this pose. Still staying in child's pose. Now we're going to bring head down, lean the chest down and extend the arms next to the legs. And you can either turn the palms up to the ceiling, or if it's better for your shoulders, you might turn the palms down to the mat. Now engaging the core, moving the spine a bit more. Slowly with your next breath, bring your sit bones towards your heels and roll the back up. Open the chest. You could even look slightly up. And from here, exhale, start to bring your chest down, the chest leading the way down, like a wave going through the spine. Head comes all the way down. Same again. In a way, press the sit bones towards the heels, roll the back up, open the chest, even roll the shoulders back slightly, maybe looking up. And exhale now, chest bone leading the way down. Head can arrive last, rounding the spine. 2 more times. Send the sit bones towards the heels, roll the back up, open the chest. And exhale, chest leads the way down. Try to move vertebra by vertebra as we roll the spine up once more. Start from the lower back, mid back, upper back, the neck, the head. Open the chest. And exhale, release the chest, release the head down. And then step hands overhead on the mat. And now as you inhale, come forward onto hands and knees. Hand step a bit further forward. Exhale into a Cobra pose. So leaning the pelvis forward, you can bend the elbows. Opening now through the front side of the body after that long child's pose. You can come lower down if you want. So feel free to bend the elbows more. Keep opening the chest. You can look forward. You can look down. Take another breath in and out in your Cobra pose. And then exhale, release the chest down. You bring your head down. And we'll go back into our twists and our shoulders. So now, just like we did in child's pose, we do the left arm on the right side of the mat. So press down through the right hand and then slide your left arm under the right armpit, under the chest. And you can stay in that same variation as we did in child's pose. Left arm extended, right hand could press down a bit more. This time head might not lean down to the mat, and that's fine. Second option, you could turn your left elbow onto the mat, bring palms together, and then press the hands just slightly together, right elbow pointing up. And in this pose, the situation in the pelvis is a bit different. So when the legs are extended behind us, the pelvis might move into that twist as well. So you can let the right side of the pelvis roll off the mat if you want. Take another breath in and out. You could look down to the mat if that releases the neck. And then exhale. We slowly, gently release this twist. And we're going to open the left arm out to the left side of the mat. But this time, try a cactus shape. So you leave the elbow bent, the left elbow either shoulder height or it could be even a bit higher than the shoulder. And from here, we're going to press down through the right hand and roll onto our left side. And you could either step the right foot behind you and start to turn the pelvis
so that we start to find a bit stronger opening across the chest, especially around that left shoulder. If there's any pain in that left arm, you can slide that left arm higher up. I had to adjust that arm a bit higher up because it was more just pinching in the joint. But now I slid the arm a bit higher up and I can feel it more in the muscles. You have also another option for the legs. You could bend your both knees in front of you. That might be more suitable for some people. Feel free to adjust the legs. And take another breath in and out. So stretching those pecs, those big muscles in your chest. And then slowly start to release that pose. Extend the legs, turn the chest down to the mat. Take a couple of breaths, just resting on the belly. You could bring hands under the head, maybe rock the pelvis, the shoulders a bit from side to side. And then we're going to go and visit the downward facing dog pose. So with your own few breaths, bring hands on the mat. Inhale onto hands and knees. And then tuck the toes under. Exhale, lift the pelvis up. Downward dog. Just after those long poses in back bends and in child's poses, it might be nice to open the backs of the legs a bit. So you could pedal the feet, just open the back side, couple more breaths. Shake the head. And then we're going to go to the other side, starting in child's pose. Bring the knees down, lean pelvis towards the feet, lean the head down. And now we're going to slide the right arm under the left armpit. So you can step the left hand on the mat, elevate yourself off the mat slightly, and then slide that right arm to the left side of the mat. You could lean head down or bring a block, a pillow under the head. Either leave your left arm relaxed, or you could now press the left hand down to the mat. Open the chest even more out to the left side. But again, don't force the twist too much. It's more for your upper spine. You can breathe towards the ribs. Take a couple more breaths in and out. And then slowly press down through the left hand a bit more. Slide the right arm out to the right side of the mat. And here you could extend that right arm. And then we keep pressing down through the left hand to look for a bit of a stretch on the inside of that right arm. Maybe all the way in the chest, the pecs area. Again, if you want, you might turn the right hand fingers more up to the ceiling. It might intensify that opening, the stretching sensation. And then slowly release that pose, close the chest. Bring hands on the mat closer to your shoulders. And we're going to go straight into some cobras. So now you could walk your hands further forward. And this time, come all the way down onto your belly. Leave your legs extended behind you. And we're going to move here by bringing arms either next to the sides, turn palms to the mat. Or if you don't want to use your arms at all, Bring hands behind your upper back, like a diamond shape between your thumbs, your index fingers. And then, as you inhale, open the chest away from the mat. Keep the legs, the feet down. Come into your Cobra pose. And exhale, release down, chest, head. We'll do same again. As you inhale, start to peel the chest off the mat. You can lift your neck, your head up. If you have hands on the mat, you might press down through the hands. And exhale, release down. 2 more times with your own breath. Again, a bit like a wave going through the spine. Inhale into that back bend. You might look slightly forward. And exhale, release down. 1 more Cobra. Inhale, lift the chest slightly off the mat. Open across the chest. And exhale, release down. If you have hands behind the back, release the arms down. We're going to go into our twist here on the belly. Now going to the other side. So step left hand close to the left shoulder, lift chest off the mat and slide the right arm under the chest, under the left arm. And again, remember here, pelvis might roll off the mat slightly. Either keep pressing down through the left hand, right arm extended. Or you could bring your left palm to the right palm, so the left elbow points up, right elbow points down. And again, head might not touch the mat. If it gets really tense, you could bring a block or pillow under the head. We could also move the neck, find a place where the neck is not tense, but we can still stay in that twist. Breathe out to the ribs. Keep tops of the shoulders released away from the ears. And then slowly, slowly exhale, release that twist, release those arms. And then bring your right arm out to the right side of the mat. Again, a kind of cactus shape, maybe right elbow on the same level as so right elbow and shoulder in the same level, or the right shoulder might be a bit lower down than the right elbow. We do that twist and opening for the pecs. So now you could press down through the left hand, roll on to the right side and maybe step the left foot behind you. Turning pelvis, turning the left knee more up to the ceiling. Or you have the other option where you would bend both knees in front of you. Make sure you're not hurting your shoulders. Make sure you can still breathe. It could be an intense opening across the shoulders, especially in that right shoulder. Also make sure you're not hurting in the neck. You could hear lean head maybe all the way down to the mat. Take another breath or 2 in and out. And then slowly start to release the pose. Release the legs. Turn the chest down to the mat. And then we're going to roll all the way onto our back. So from wherever you were lying down on the belly, just roll down onto your back. And we're going to find a resting pose. Now we're going to give the shoulders, the back, a moment to rest at the end of this practice. So see how your back feels. Would you rather leave your knees bent, maybe lean the knees in against each other? Or you might extend the legs. Find an easy pose. And let your arms soften. If neck feels tense, you could rock your head a few times from side to side. And then release your jaw. Check that you're not biting teeth together. And just find your breath. Noticing each breath in. Noticing each breath out. Give yourself a few more breaths, at least a few more breaths in this resting pose. And if you feel like making this resting pose longer, maybe you want to find a deeper, longer relaxation, feel free to stay in your Shavasana pose as long as you want, as long as you feel that it's needed today, tonight. Also, if you feel that this is a good place, good time to now end the practice, you could slowly roll on to one side. And then from your side, bring yourself up into a seat. Any easy seat. Remember, you can end your practice in any way that suits you today. And then as we arrive to the end of our practice together, if it's part of your practice, you can bring palms together in front of the chest and thank yourself. Most importantly, thank yourself for giving yourself this time to check in, to calm down, to slow things down. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing your practice. Namaste. Thank you. Good. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you feel calm. I hope your shoulders, your spine feel okay now. If you enjoyed the practice, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you know that there's someone else who might need a bit of movement in their shoulders, in their backs, then please share the video with them. It really helps the channel to grow. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.